Everyone thinks moving to Sacramento is this smooth, sunny upgrade. More space, better schools, a little wine country on the weekends, and yes, it can be. But here's what most people never see coming until it's too late. Your insurance rates jump unexpectedly, your builder delays closing again, and that easy commute turns into gridlock on I-80 with no exit plans. We've helped hundreds of families relocate here from all over the country, and even the most prepared buyers still get blindsided by things that no one talks about online. The truth is, Sacramento isn't just one city. It's a collection of totally different neighborhoods, school zones, and different lifestyle trade-offs. And the one you pick, it's going to shape everything: your budget, your daily rhythm, even how quickly you feel at home. Because out here, being just one zip code off can completely change your experience.
What most people don't realize until they're already unpacked is how drastically your daily life can change just by choosing the wrong part of Sacramento. Maybe it's the school that looked great on paper but feels underwhelming in person. Maybe it's the dreamy new build that came with surprise Melrose fees and a PG&E bill bigger than your car payment. Or it's the HOA that sends warnings if your garbage bins are visible for 5 minutes too long. We've watched families move into homes that have checked every box, only to find themselves second-guessing everything 6 months later. That's the reality here, because Sacramento is full of amazing communities, but no two are alike. And unless you know exactly what to look for, the things that seemed like small trade-offs at first can snowball fast. One of the biggest surprises for people moving to Sacramento is how hyper-local both crime and community culture are. You'll hear someone say Sac's totally safe, and then someone else will swear they'd never move here. And honestly, they're both right, because it all depends on where you land. Take Midtown. It's fun, it's walkable, there's always something happening. You've got art walks, farmers markets, breweries, but you'll also deal with break-ins, street noise, and certain blocks that change dramatically after dark. Same story with Oak Park. There are parts that are beautifully revitalized and others that still struggle with safety and stability. Now contrast that with places like Folsom, Rockland, or Roseville. These are clean, suburban, super family oriented, but they come with higher home prices, strict HOAs, and less diversity in lifestyle. So it really depends on what you're looking for. Even Elk Grove is a mixed bag. You've got neighborhoods like Laguna West or East Franklin, which feel like a master plan dream. But a few miles over, school rankings drop, traffic ramps up, and the vibe completely shifts. So how do you choose wisely? Plug into local Facebook groups, use tools like crimemapping.com, and honestly, just ask. Because once you find your fit, everything else starts falling into place. But even if you get the neighborhood right, there's one thing that can still blindside you financially, and that's what we're gonna cover next.
One of the most overlooked but critical factors when buying a home in the Sacramento area is how property taxes actually work. And I'll tell you right now, it's not as simple as looking at the number on Zillow. California uses Prop 13 to keep property taxes predictable, generally around 1.1% of the purchase price. That's the base, but in Sacramento, Placer, and El Dorado counties, that base number almost never tells the full story. Let's just start with new construction like I'm in right now. In neighborhoods like Folsom Ranch or West Roseville, Bickford Ranch, the base tax rate might be 1.1%, but then you add Melrose or CFD fees for infrastructure like schools, parks, and fire services, and that can bump your effective tax rate up to 1.6% or higher on a $700,000 home. That's an extra $3,500 a year on your monthly mortgage jump of nearly $300 per month. And those fees aren't always showing in the listing. We always want to make sure that we look at those tax bills prior to writing offers, so that way you're not surprised by an unexpected $3,800 CFD bill after escrow opens. Now, resale homes can be just as tricky. Two houses on the same street, same model, same square footage, but totally different tax bills. Now, the reason being is because one hasn't changed hands in 10 years and it's still assessed at $380,000, while the other one just sold for $650,000 and reset the tax base in the neighborhood. Then there's the supplemental tax bill. This is where the county reassesses the value upwards from the previous sale and then bills you for the difference. And those bills don't always come when you expect them. We've had clients get hit with a $2,200 surprise tax bill before the holidays because the reassessment lagged behind on their closing. Placer County in particular is famous for delayed notifications. El Dorado County, they are improving but still working on the modernization of it. So if you're not budgeting for it, or if your lender doesn't impound those taxes for you ahead of time, you could definitely be stuck with writing a check if you didn't see it coming. And here's the wild card with taxes. Taxes can shift with local ballot measures. Sacramento just passed Measure O, which added a new public safety funding layer, and if more pass in your district, especially for schools or fire departments, your rates can edge up even more. That's why we always run true effective tax rate calculations before any offer is written. Not just what your county says, but including every line item, CFD bonds, fire assessments, even stormwater runoff taxes that some buyers in East Sacramento get surprised by. It's not about scaring anyone, it's about making sure that you budget like a homeowner, not a hopeful buyer. When you know what to expect, taxes become predictable. But if you skip this important step, that affordable home might end up just being the most expensive monthly payment on your block. And if that felt like a lot, just wait, because new construction doesn't just come with the tax surprises, it can also come with a lot of hidden upgrade cost builder clauses and contract traps that most people never see.
New builds are booming across the Sacramento region right now. You've probably seen the signs in Folsom Ranch, Elk Grove, and West Roseville, D.R. Horton, Woodside, Cahovnanian, Beezer, Toll Brothers, and from the street, it looks like a dream. Brand new construction, modern finishes, and incentives plastered on every sign. But here's what people don't realize until they're already under contract. Not all builders play by the same rules. Some will offer you $10,000 to $20,000 in closing costs, but only if you use their lender, and that lender's rate might be significantly higher than what you could lock in with a local broker. And sometimes that quote, free money gets eaten up by points and fees you didn't catch until you're days from closing. Others might include backyard landscaping, a washer and dryer, or solar upgrades, but only on spec homes or quick move-ins. And those quick close promises, we've had clients plan around 30-day closings only to get delayed for 3 to 6 months due to city inspections, labor shortages, or utility connection delays. And then there's the fine print. And this is where a lot of buyers get blindsided. Lot premiums can add $20,000 to $75,000 on top of that base price that's advertised, especially if you're backing up to an open space or have no rear neighbor. Some models that start in the $590,000 range can balloon to $670,000 with upgrades, structural options, and design center selections. And yes, those fancy kitchens and extended patios in the model home, they're rarely standard. Let's not forget about solar leases, especially in Elk Grove or Folsom, where some builders roll them into the mortgage and others leave you with a 25-year lease contract. Add that to your monthly cost along with HOAs that might seem low now, but can increase with a board vote or future development. And here's a big one. Property taxes on new builds are based on full purchase price, not just the assessed land value. You might budget $500 a month based on old comps, but find out at closing it's more like $750 once supplemental taxes hit. This is why we walk every client through a full builder by builder breakdown. We know the sales teams, we know the history, and we know where the wiggle room actually is. Some builders will work with you, some won't budge. But if you go in without knowing what to push for, you're definitely gonna leave money on the table. And even if you land the perfect home at the right price, there's one cost that just keeps climbing month after month. Let's break that down.
Utilities might seem like an afterthought when you're house shopping, but here in Sacramento, they're one of the biggest hidden costs that can wreck your monthly budget if you're not prepared. Let's talk electric bills. If you're in Rockland, El Dorado Hills, or really anywhere in the foothills all the way up to South Lake or North Lake Tahoe, you're likely going to be in PG&E territory, and PG&E rates are among some of the highest in the entire state of California. In the summertime, a 2,500 square foot home can easily see monthly bills anywhere between $400 and $600, especially if the house faces west or lacks shade or even solar. Now compare that to Roseville, where you're in Roseville Electric. Rates there are significantly lower, and many buyers don't realize how much they can save. We've had clients save anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 per year just by being in a lower rate service zone. Then there's water. If you're in El Dorado County or City of Sacramento utilities, you're looking at somewhere between $100 to $140 per month for a family of 4. More if you've got a pool or a large lawn. And that's not including the sewer, storm drainage, and fire protection fees if you're up in the foothills, which are often bundled into your bill that can total an additional $80 to $150 per month. Older homes come with their own challenges: less efficient HVAC systems, poor insulation, older water heaters, and all of that means more usage, higher bills, and unexpected repairs. Heck, even newer homes with solar, if it's leased, you might still be paying a flat fee every month on top of your utility costs that you thought would be replaced. And don't forget about wildfire insurance, especially in those areas: El Dorado Hills, Shingle Springs, Placerville, Auburn. Fire risk zones require special coverage, and premiums can jump anywhere from $800 extra per year all the way up to $5,000 per year with limited options. Add in things like pool maintenance, quarterly pest control, monthly landscaping, and if you're not the DIY type, and suddenly that affordable mortgage payment doesn't tell the full story. This is exactly why we help buyers run real monthly budget scenarios, not just principal and interest payments, because when you understand the cost up front, you're in control and not scrambling 6 months after you've already moved in. And speaking of things that you deal with every day, let's talk about what it's really like to get around Sacramento.
All right, now here's something you probably won't hear from your agent unless they're brutally honest like Lance and I are. Now, Sacramento is not a walkable city for most people. It's definitely a car town. Full stop, you're gonna need a car if you live here. So if you're planning to live in places like Folsom, Roseville, Rockland, or Elk Grove and work downtown, you're likely looking at a 35 to 45 minute commute each way, depending on time of day and overall traffic flow. Now, Highway 50, I-80, and Highway 99, they all have choke points, especially near major interchanges like Watt Avenue, Sunrise, or I-5. And we do have some public transportation here, like a light rail system and definitely a growing regional transit system. Unless your home and your job are both on the Gold Line corridor, it's not going to be your daily driver. Now, parking is easy, which is definitely a win, but let's talk about road quality. Now, road quality when it comes to Sacramento definitely has some of the worst potholes in all of California. It can feel like you're four-wheel driving through some of these streets. And with budget gaps, that means that repairs can definitely take time. Now, if you're coming from the Bay Area or LA, you'll probably be pleasantly surprised by how light our traffic overall is here. But just know, if you don't have a car or you don't love driving, you'll need to be very intentional about where you live and how close it is to your lifestyle essentials. Now, if you've got kids or you want them in the future, the next piece of the puzzle is definitely critical. Now, one of the biggest drivers behind why people choose one part of the Sacramento region over another comes down to schools. And it's not as simple as looking up district names. Now, you've got Folsom Cordova Unified and Rockland Unified. They're among some of the most consistently high-performing districts, and families move to those areas specifically for the schools and for good reasons. They've got great rankings, high test scores, and strong community engagement. Now let's talk a little bit about Folsom. So Folsom currently has 2 high schools. They've got Folsom High School and they've got Vista Del Lago, which is where I'm at right now. Now these 2 high schools are amazing high schools. They're very strongly rated, and it's one of the main reasons why a lot of people choose Folsom. Now these 2 high schools are awesome choices, but depending on what your kid's into, one might be a better fit over the other. For example, Folsom High School is very well known for its football program. Most years they make it to the state playoffs, and they're widely known for producing some amazing athletes that eventually go on to play Division I in college sports. Now, maybe your kid's not into football, maybe they're into swimming. And this is where knowing the difference between 2 high schools can really make a big deal, because Folsom High School doesn't have its own pool. They do have swim programs and they swim out of a community pool, but when you're looking at Folsom High School versus Vista Del Lago is a newer high school which is more geared towards swimming and aquatics. They have their own pool here and they have a great program and facility. Now that's where working with local agents like Lance and myself, we know a lot of these distinct differences. Maybe your kid's not into sports, maybe they're looking for advanced placement classes, and some schools offer more AP classes or an IB diploma program that other high schools in the same district might not offer. So this is where working with someone local like us can definitely help make sure you land in the right area for the right school for your kiddos. Now moving along, you've got Roseville Joint Union High School District. Now this high school has standout schools like Granite Bay High School, but it also has campuses that rank a little bit lower depending on the neighborhood. So let's talk a little bit about Roseville Joint Union High School. So you've got Granite Bay High School, which currently rates a 9 out of 10 overall on greatschools.org. This high school offers the IB diploma program. They offer a ton of advanced placement courses, and they also have great sports programs as well. Now, if your kid's into water polo, this is definitely one of the schools that's highly competitive in the area and probably the one that you might want to be at. Now, they also offer many other amazing programs as well as clubs, And a lot of kids from this school do go on to the college level. This is a very highly competitive educational school where kids really push each other to the next level. Then you've got other schools in Roseville Joint Union High School District like Oakmont High School. Now Oakmont is an older high school that's in East Roseville that sits around an older community. But this high school also is very highly rated. It also offers the IB diploma program and a lot of advanced placement courses. Definitely an awesome school. Then you have Wood Creek High School, which ranks a little bit lower than Granite Bay and Oakmont. But this is an awesome high school with a great community feel. It sits right next to the Aquatic Center, has awesome sports programs there as well. Now, one thing to note, this high school doesn't offer the IB diploma program, so if that's something specific that you're looking for, again, that's where you're gonna wanna reach out to us and make sure that we're talking through all of your goals and specifically what your kiddos need. Now, another high school in Roseville Joint Union is going to be the West Park High School. West Park is the place to be for the new construction. Now, West Park services specifically the West Park area and where a lot of new builds are. But it's important to note that if you want your kids to go to this school and you're looking at new construction, not all new construction close to that area actually feeds to that school. Again, another reason why you need to reach out to us if schools are important to you. We know a lot of the intricacies of all of these schools. Now, Roseville Joint Union has more high schools in that district, and they're all above average, and they all offer different unique things. So definitely reach out to us if you're considering a move to the greater Sacramento Metro and schools are important to you. Now, moving along, we also talk about Elk Grove a lot on this channel, so we have to talk about Elk Grove schools. So Elk Grove is going to be serviced by Elk Grove Unified. It is the largest district in Northern California, which means tons of options. There are so many schools in this district, but with so many schools, you also have a huge variance in performance and culture and available programs. But the nice thing about Elk Grove Unified is that it's the same district that services from TK or kindergarten all the way up through your senior year of high school. Now, the nice thing about this is if you are a family that's got multiple aged kiddos, maybe you've got younger kids and you've got older kids, the nice thing is that being that all of the schools report to the same district makes it a lot easier on family vacations when you're trying to plan them around which weeks and which days the kids have off from school. So keep that in mind. Now, like we said, with Elk Grove being as large as it is, some schools rank better than others, specifically the ones that are located in the more populated areas versus the more rural areas. So again, it's important to reach out to us to make sure we're talking about your goals, what your kiddos need, and make sure we find the right fit for them so that this transition is easy for them. Now, if you're eyeing private or charter schools, know that many are highly competitive and fill up fast, often months before the school year starts. And tuition, expect to pay anywhere from $8,000 to $22,000 per student annually. This is where working with someone local matters. We can help map out boundaries, feeder schools, enrollment, timelines, all before you buy. Because once you close, your options get way more limited and you pinpoint yourself to certain areas based on school districts. And we all know once our kids get hooked into a school and they find their friend group, it's harder to move them across town to a different area. So we want to make sure that you're finding the right area that's the right fit for your family when you first get here. Now let's flip from logistics to lifestyle, because how you plug into a new community matters just as much as your address.
Now, this is the part that no one really prepares you for, the social side of moving, because Sacramento is not like the Bay Area or Southern California where you walk out the door and just trip over a dozen different events or bump into people at every coffee shop. Now, you have to work a little bit harder here to plug in, but once you do, it's one of the most connected, welcoming communities around. Now, each part of the region has its own rhythm. Midtown and East Sac, that's where the energy's at its fullest. It's full of creatives, remote workers, young professionals. You've got mural-covered alleyways, indie coffee shops, pop-up markets, live music at random corners. It's artsy, it's a little gritty, it's super social. Folsom's a little bit more family focused, tons of organized events, great parks, a huge community rec scene, trick-or-treat routes, splash pads, soccer Saturdays. If you've got kids, it's definitely easy to meet people fast. Now, Roseville's like the suburban engine of the region, big on sports, shopping, rec centers. It moves quick. If you're into staying active or your weekends revolve around kids' activities, you'll fit right in. And then there's Elk Grove. That's one of the areas that's evolving the fastest. New breweries, growing food scene, and a lot more cultural events. It's more diverse than people realize, and it's building out fast. But here's what people don't always expect. Because we're so spread out, you're not just going to randomly make your friends walking your dog. It takes a lot of effort. You've got to join stuff. Paddleboard meetups at Lake Natoma, CrossFit fit in Rockland, volunteer nights downtown, trivia night at local breweries, community yoga. Whatever your thing is, there's a group for it. You just have to find it and show up. That's exactly why we put together a local connection guide for our clients, Facebook groups that are actually active, gym communities that feel like family, even which coffee shops or breweries tend to be the hubs in each neighborhood. Because let's be real, buying the right house matters, but feeling like you belong here, that's what makes this move work.
If you're craving all of the bulletproof info here, then you're definitely going to want to download our brand new app that we just built out. Now the link is going to be down in the description of this video. Our app has so much in it. You can search available homes in the area. It's packed with neighborhood maps, tax calculators, commute analysis. It has all of our local area guides, as well as all of our local vendors. It has everything that you're going to need for relocating here to the Sacramento Metro. So you're definitely going to want to make sure you download that app and check it out before you come to the area.
Now here's what we definitely want you to take away. Sacramento has so much amazing things to offer. Amazing schools, beautiful communities, more space, lower cost of living, but it's also full of trade-offs that aren't that obvious when you're just browsing Zillow online. Choosing the right neighborhoods is about more than just price. It's about school boundaries, tax zones, commute times, and how you'll actually live day to day. We've helped hundreds of families relocate here, and every single one of you guys has different priorities, and that's why we built the Sacramento Relocation Guide. That's why we built the Simply Sacramento Real Estate app. So that way you can see the real cost, builder deals, tax examples, commute maps, and all the things that actually matter before, during, and after your move to the greater Sacramento Metro. So if you're thinking about making that move, that phone number will be popping up. We are the ones that answer every phone call, email, and text message. Or better yet, go ahead and book that free strategy call session by scanning the QR code. We absolutely love it when you guys connect with us. We love to help get to know what's bringing you guys to the Sacramento area, figuring out your needs, your wants, your must-haves, and your deal breakers, your budgets, your lifestyle goals, and help you land in the neighborhood that truly fits you.